Yeah, it probably is Cole, King of Atlantis or something.
Cole. It's Cole of Atlantis. Yes.
There it
Yes,
is.
it is
Yeah.
Cole. All right. Confirmed. All right. Thank you. Thank you for confirming that, Odin. Now just my brain just anyway. Um so so Critical Blast is going to do the clock, a kind of like detective story, noir detective story, kind of a vigilante kind of thing. I think the plot is that the clock is kind of minding his own business, living his life, and suddenly crimes start happening and all over the city, wearing his face. So he kind of has this real simplistic mask, that's kind of like looks like a handkerchief, over his face. But anyway, so that's kind of the plot for that one. And since RJ didn't come on, we're not going to focus. We're going to move on. So if he could have told some more, but or showed some more, but he had better things to do, evidently. All right. Anyway, yes, we're going to talk trash about him. All right. Anyway,
if it will summon him, it's worth
it. There you go. There you go. Plot about a clock. Yeah. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. What's the comment? What comes up? Call the Conqueror strictly Marvel, so not in public domain. Oh, okay. Okay. Anyway, yes, the clock. Plot about clock. Well, the name of the character is the clock. Okay. Yeah. All right. Try to keep up, Corey. Try to keep up. All right. Dream of boobs or whatever it takes to keep you focused. Anyway, so there you go. I'm going to share this. We'll go with Justin. We'll go clockwise. Clockwise. Clock.
I get it.
There you go. Anyway, you got it. There you go. All right, so we're going to Justin's got something he's sharing with us right now. So here as he's running out of time. Yeah, funny. Ha ha ha. All right. Yeah.
The clock blocker. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
He said, no. Yeah. The clock blocker. Okay. We got a lady in attendance, guys. Watch it. Come on.
I could do that. Yeah, I could do a rooster themed vigilante hero.
Absolutely.
Well, I think you could do that well, and plus with the influx of Hispanics who happen to put roosters on everything, that might actually get some play. It might actually get some play. You remember the Red Rooster, the goofiest wrestler that's ever been?
Yes.
You don't. If you do remember,
he
I
think they missed a golden opportunity
on his
with
hair
Red Rooster versus Gobbledygooker.
Roosterverse.
Yeah, I'm serious. Missed opportunity there.
I would have drawn money.
That guy was.
Well, Mitch Breitweiser has a comic book called Red Rooster.
Red Rooster, yeah. The Gobbledygooker was actually the guy that played Bastion Booger. Yeah, that's the same guy.
I don't know if that's a step up or a step down, honestly.
Hard to tell.
I don't know. Probably parallel tape. Just fascinated. Never heard of a comic about a clock before. It's a character. It's a criminal. It's a vigilante named the Clock. You're not sensitive. Y'all are good. Okay. All right. Just making sure. Nope. I'll be insensitive. All right.
And
So
to
let
be
me
fair,
share this.
all of his stories are the
stuff
clock strikes. I think is how RJ says it. He says every one of the stories is like the clock strikes, and then So anyway. Yeah. So I think the first thing I'm going to show is
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the first thing I'm going to show is the bonus content. So this is this way it's not a spoiler, but in a way you're going to see the page that actually did make it into the story. So, and I'm definitely not going to pick on my artist too much, but I do have to say when you're working with folks, you definitely want them to read your script and not just look at your layouts and go to town off of the layouts only, right? So I turned in the layouts that Luke had graciously done for me, because that's really the only way that this artist was going to work with me on this. And by the way, this artist, his name is Kevin McDougall. And just watch out for him because he and I are going to be teaming up to do more stuff together for sure.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, it looks
definitely.
Like
and I definitely want to
there.
stay. I definitely want to stay black and white with him because he's a master at it, as we can see here.
Yeah.
But so in this story, it's whoops, didn't mean to show that yet. But in the story, we open with this train, in the establishing shot, and then there's this guard kind of walking up and down the aisle, and then here's our protagonist, the Bronze Terror. He's kind of sitting, just waiting, writing basically, and then over here, I don't know who this is because he's not in the script. Right. And then all of a sudden the guard just loses his mind and decides to cut the guy's head off. and the Bronze Terror is like, what the heck? I say Bronze Terror. Actually, he's his alter ego right now. And his name is Jeff Dixon. So I'm staying true to the original intent of my character. Now, where I may differ from some of the other people in this anthology is I'm actually I've set my character up in my own universe, so I'm actually taking the character from the old time as the Bronze Terror and I'm updating him, and so now his name is Thunder Horse, the Bronze Terror. So he actually has powers. The original Bronze Terror was just an awesome Indian badass. Like he was horseback with a bow and arrow and all these tropes, which to be fair, the way he was originally written, he was full-blooded Apache, but if you look in history, the Apache weren't known as horse, they weren't the horse masters. That was reserved for the Comanche folk.
The Comanche, yeah.
And so what I've done is I've tweaked this backstory, and of course it if you follow how I'm like creating my universe, it'll make sense. But in this universe, Jeff Dixon is actually, his father is Comanche and his mother is Apache, and so and their lineage hails from like way back, and also there's kind of an in his origin here, and so this is the finished page. So as we can see, the story is quite different when when the layout may look the same, but the story is certainly different. So we've got a situation where Jeff Dixon is kind of sitting here alone in his thoughts. He's got this little briefcase in his lap. But what we're seeing here is kind of like the first I want to say the first appearance or the first transformation of Thunder Horse, and it's aboard this train. He's been, Jeff Dixon's been gifted this mask that when he puts it on, it causes him to transform, and so he kind of makes this. And this is this isn't the final of this page. But it was a work in progress color.
That's good enough. We don't want to spoil the thing,
right? Yeah, because it's not like I have 8 pages, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Let me get caught up here real quick. Red Rooster. Yeah. Tom Thomerson, I think his name was, or Tim Thomerson or something like that. It was Red Rooster blowing dust off of memory. I forgot I had didn't grow like a rooster. Well, he like did the cock of the walk. That was like his,
kind of still is this.
Yeah. Anyway, is there a villain called Time Freeze? I don't know. You have to get the book and find out. Phenomenal art. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Good afternoon, Rosalind Summers. Hey guys, just saying hello to each other. Hey, we got 2 viewers over here. There's someone else. Well, enjoy Immortal Comics channel. There you go. All right. Anyway,
nice.
I don't see any babes on this page. Well, you can't fit babes in every time, okay? Especially 6 pages, man. It's a good afternoon. All right, caught up. All right, so next we're going to go to Jared. Jared is the He's got a comic in the works, his first comic, but this will be his first published work. Same with me. And he went with a guy named Super Guy.
Yeah, Super Guy. So Super Guy, very
Mm-hmm.
interesting backstory for Super Guy because he was left by DC when they bought one of the many other comic companies that they bought decades ago, and they looked at Super Guy and they said, well, we have Superman, so we don't need Super Guy, and they just kind of didn't purchase him when they purchased everybody else.
Right.
So I picked up Super Guy, and here we go. But my idea with him was that, you know, his story, the one thing that he was published in was back in the 60s. And I thought,
Mhm.
okay, you know, let's look at this guy. He's probably, you know, maybe late 20s, early 30s, somewhere in there. And I figured let's adjust the time appropriately. Let's go 60 years in the future and make him a man in his 80s. And he's now very very tired, very grumpy, but he's still a superhero. And so I kind of borrowed ideas from The Tick and One Punch Man, and the story is about him saving a grocery store without really being aware that he's saving the grocery store. So I kind of borrowed aspects of the Phil Coulson short from the MCU, which is A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to New Mexico. And that's in the title of A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Checkout. And so I love the way that he looks. He just looks
this is
so...
by Cornelis. You will know him from Iron Sights.
That's right. That's right.
Sights,
he's our artist, and the colors by Tom Rapka, I think is how you pronounce his last name. And then Joel Saavedra is the letterer. And I've shared page 1 publicly, so you can see the intro. That's where he made a little logo for us. Tom Rapka, eBay Canales. Is it eBay? iBuy?
Super old guy.
Yeah, right. And I'll show a little bit here, but we've got
there is a short story there's a short story Robert R. McCammon did about a guy who did serials back in the 20s, and he gets caught up into a murder investigation as an old man, and he puts the old costume back on, and he starts walking around LA with his costume on. And because it's LA, people are like, oh, there's a guy with a costume on.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's like this elderly guy. It's a really great story. It's called The Night Calls the Green Falcon. It's in the Blue World. But you can get it individually on Audible. I suggest checking it out. It might inspire you for more stories.
I would love to continue. So Super Guy it has a pretty good... If people enjoy the story, I would love to do some stuff, because I'd love to kind of do different things. Like
I like your description of him as like Mr. Magoo meets One Punch Man. I love
that. Right, because he's like, I want him to be like, the idea
is crap, but you know, he's still super powered. So
he's the idea is that he's still kind of like a, you know, a Superman character. Like, he's still really powerful. It's just he's old. Like, he can go fast, he doesn't want to, because like, you know, he has bad hips, so why would he want to? So like, it's just plays off of like tropes for comedy, but like, he's still a powerful superhero, but he's more concerned about getting his grocery list and seeing his stories than, you know, running around being a superhero and everything. So if people like him, I have 100 things that I could do with him, and I could play off of, you know, so many great tropes. I could introduce a bunch of other heroes that are the younger generation, and then they try to stop something, and he walks up and just one-shots it, and is like the whole time just complaining about whippersnappers going back home. So we could do all sorts of cool stuff with Super Guy if people are receptive.
It sounds hilarious. So this is your absolutely first published work.
Absolutely, this is the first. This is actually the first comic that I completed the script of, got art of, and then like had it done. So this is the first comic I've ever done.
There you go.
Good for you. Congrats.
Thank you very much. I had a blast writing this.
Let me go ahead and hey, Chris Fisk, what's up, dude?
What's up, Chris?
He's a hell of an artist, man. I'm liking the stuff he's posting right now. This Roslyn saying hello. So just dudes on the Super Guy page. All right.
All of my babes. I have a ton of babes, but they're all in Project Seraphim. You have to follow me and check out Project Seraphim.
There you go.
There we go. That's the chief pig.
Anime, what's up?
Metamucil gang anime. You're a good bud.
I love him.
Yeah, the cape is the
Yes.
best. Yeah,
That is the best. I wanted to say that too. It just has its own personality. It's terrific.
That's
right. Hold on a second. Starting to agree with Corey now. Someone at least have a babe in their story.
I'm telling you, Roz did concept art on all of my babes. You can verify they are total babes. I have lots of babes.
There you go. All right.
Babe.
We're getting a lot of babe icons here. Okay.
Yes.
Whatever.
Mhm.
Whatever.
As a short like aside, I've got babes that are currently under wraps for Chrome Dog.
Yeah.
See, he's got babes too.
I just haven't shown them yet. We haven't gotten there yet, but
all right.
they're coming, I promise.
I've got really hot babes in mine. I can show.
I'm saving the cheesecake, man. I'm saving it.
I'm not gonna lie. This is a story about an old man, so you're not gonna see many babes in this yet.
I got binders
senior
full
citizen
of babes
discount
like
day at the
Romney.
grocery.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
Binders
Binders
full of babes. Okay.
Romney,
All right.
like he gets play.
Yeah, I'm serious. Like Odin has any trouble getting babes. I'm serious. Anyway, all right. Korak, son of Tarzan, is going to be in the project. That is by our good
Hojo.
friend H.W. Desper, also known as Hojo, who's got Mythicals out right now. That one is it's a really kind of a bittersweet story. I've seen the art on it. It's really good. He had to go back and have it redone because somebody kind of like dropped out of the project and this guy kind of ingratiated himself in several projects before we realized it. And then
are you going to name them to let everybody know as a warning? Or
he goes by T3. I'll just say that.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm
not saying put him on blast and dox him, but at the same time, it's kind of nice.
I can't fully
as a
name
writer,
it
like I have a lot of money invested in my artists.
Well,
knowing that kind of stuff really
what
helps.
happened was the group kind of started and Luke got busy for a little while, and this guy kind of came in, somebody else added into the group without Luke knowing it. And then as soon as he hit the group,
I'm the one who added him.
All right, well,
I'll wear it.
As soon as he
on
hit
the cone
group,
of shame.
Right. Well, it's yeah. Anyway, but as soon as he got into the group, he started like saying, "Hey, I can do this, I can do that," and it started hitting people up, and being a real pest about it. And so people are like, "Oh, let's see your work." And he said his portfolio looked pretty good. It turned out that wasn't the quality of work he was putting out.
Oh,
but anyway, so
he actually did the colors for Super Guy.
Oh, okay.
But he was very nice to me, but he did. Right. But I will be fair. He was very nice to me, but I know for a fact that he did do colors on some other people's work, and he did that for free. And as soon as he had this argument with Luke, and Luke ejected him from the project, he said, "None of you can use the work that I've done unless you pay me." I already paid him. So all of my colors stayed because I already had paid him to do the work.
Oof.
Oh, gotcha. Well, Korak had to be recolored because of that. He actually had he actually contributed a story, which was like
that's right. Yeah, he did. I remember that.
Yeah, it was like the happenings around the Empire State Building when King Kong was like up there, and it had Luke kind of shouldered it over to me to do to do some editing on it, and as it was had too many defects, and I was like, "You're gonna have to need a total rewrite on this," and he got mad at me, and he kind of like, Luke's like, "Well, let's fix your story," and so I became the bad guy. So he had no use for me from that. But then later on, he melted down with Luke and left the project. So.
That's probably for the better.
It's probably for the best, yeah. But things like that happen from time to time. Anyway, hold on a second. Aaron says, "I remember T3. I was going to do a King Kong story for this, but I had to drop. I guess he took the domain and did nothing after." Yeah, he did your King Kong story, but he did it like And I didn't get to see the finished results. I got to see one page of it, and Luke said it was good though. So Luke was okay with it being the project, but it's just like happened. Oh dang! A Skull Island story would have been cool.
It would have been,
yeah, it would have been. So that's Korak, son of Tarzan. That's gonna be Hojo. Paul Bunyan, Kaiju Hunter. I haven't heard much about this. I think Luke was supposed to draw that one.
Yeah, that one's a no. It's not going to be in this anthology. It may show up in the next one, but there's just the time constraints. It's not going to be in this work.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds amazing, though.
It does, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It really sounds fun.
It needs to be in the next one.
Well, I included him. I didn't realize that. So
it's okay.
No problem.
We'll let it slide.
Now I haven't heard anything from Matty Fowler. He's supposed to be doing a Solomon Kane story.
Yes.
Called The Puritan. He's going to be a yes. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, he's a very good writer,
right?
Very talented writer. He's going to be a real asset. I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Now Solomon Kane's is still about a year or two off from being in the public domain squarely.
Right.
But if you use like earlier versions of him, you're good. So he's got a similar problem to mine, which I'll bring up a little bit. Hold on a second. One more comment. Creator drama is the worst. How are we supposed to create when busy fighting? Right.
It's true. I mean, and I think ultimately this whole project was kind of one of those things. Like we're like, okay, we're going to go forward with this, but there has to be some fundamental understandings, and we coming at this with our own creative teams, we have to pay or beg, borrow, and steal our own stuff to enter it, because we're not guaranteed any monetary gain from the actual book.
Right.
So
yeah, we all
there it is. You can't just like say, "Oh, I've done this work. Now give me money." It's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
We all wanted like a writing credit, and that was like the most important thing was so we could say, "Hey, here's something I actually wrote. Here's a sample of my writing."
This whole project was born from the ashes of creator infighting and making the most of it.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, a person who shall not be named started this group started the Circle of Wind to kind of like thumb his nose at another group that he left with fingers in the air, and then he melted down on this group and left it, and then but then Luke Stone says, why don't we focus on actually doing a project together? And so we're like, oh, awesome. So so it's out of craziness. This is Out of Obscurity. There we go.
Out of Obscurity, out of insanity.
I like that. Out of craziness.
Out of craziness, out of obscurity. There. Hell, jabronis. B.A. Turner. What's up, dude?
Badass Turner's in the house.
Yeah, he's got a really cool comic too. I like that one. Hatred really does bring good people together. It does.
Whatever channel you're on, hit the like, please, and share.
Yes. There you go. Whatever channel you're checking out. Like and subscribe. But in particular, like and subscribe to Rabbit Hole if you don't mind. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'm doing all the heavy lifting. Come on, give me something.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anyway, throw me a freaking bone here.
Throw me a bone here. Throw me a bone. All right. Anyway, so okay. So that later on in the process, I brought it up on one of my streams, and I suddenly had this indie guy who'd been in my streams a couple times. Just hit me up, and he's like, "Is this still open, or are you still taking stories?" And we just because of the T3 meltdown, we reopened it back up and actually were accepting stories. And so I was like, yeah, man. That would be the guy all the way on the bottom here.
When you said that there was an opportunity, I was like, well, let me do this. So then I'll have more than just Immortal Rising. Like, I'm not just Immortal Rising in my writing. Right. Like, I can do other stuff. So and it sounded like a really fun challenge to grab something from that nobody would necessarily know about, or is at least in the public domain, and do my own thing with it. So It was a bit of like combing through stuff. I think it was you sent me some links. You're like, hey, here's some public people that you can use, or names or whatever.
Yeah.
I combed through a lot of them, and nothing was really coming out. And until finally I came across this obscure story. It's not like a superhero involved or anything, and so it's kind of awkward. It's more of like a horror story, or like a Tales of Terror kind of deal. I don't remember the book that I got. It might have been like Tales of Terror or something like that. So it's pretty cool. And actually, let me share with you what I have. I have a couple of pages from the comic that I got it from, and then also some pages that Jose did. So let me share it with you.
That would be Jose Garcia, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
you may have heard of him. Yeah.
We do everything together.
Jose Garcia.
Kind of serious.
Okay, so this is from the original comic, right?
Yes. This is not Jose's work. Yeah. So the idea was that this couple, this guy and this chick, he's interested in some kind of flying device, right? And they go to Transylvania or something like that, and they go to this castle. I think that's the name of the original story, was the castle, and they like uncover this medieval inventor who had created this flying device, and they basically they accidentally bring him back to life, kind of deal, and they have to deal with his ass. And so I found that, and I don't know why it grabbed me and completely inspired me to write the story that came out, which is the Tower Time Forgot, or as everybody calls it, the Tower That Time Forgot, which is fine. All right. So, and then here is some of the art. So this is some of Jose's work. What I did was, you saw the old one. They were like in the 40s or 50s, and they fly to Transylvania, and they have to deal with this mad doctor from the past. Well, in this version, we are 400 years in the future instead of dealing with the past. So we're 400 years in the future. We still have the dude and the chick, and they in this future there is a technovirus, right? Is this bio cyber kind of weapon that has been unleashed on humanity, and humanity doesn't have much longer. So the story is, and I guess the girl kind of embodies that, like she's sick. And so the stakes are, she's sick and they're there trying to find a cure. And he has kind of tracked it down to this ancient, I guess 400 years ago inventor, this guy who basically invented this virus, this technovirus. And it's basically them, instead of them going through the castle, they're going through this skyscraper tower in San Francisco.
So, very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to stop
you right. I'm going to stop you right there. I think that's good enough. Yeah. So we'll get the book. Get the book if you want to see more of this incredible Jose Garcia art.
Stoked, man. You lit my fire, buddy. Woo, let's do it.
Yeah.
Panel. And we chose to do black and white. I really thought it helped with the whole feel of the story.
Right. It's kind of a gothic feel, kind of like a old Universal monster feel. So
that's exactly what we were going for. So I'm glad that you picked up on that.
It's
super
pretty
fun.
Looks awesome.
Obvious.
And so thank you. And so originally it was 6. I was told, okay, you got 6 pages. And so I crammed the story in, but we're gonna go back and redo the 6th page and add the 7th page to give it a proper balanced feel to it. So I'm excited. Jose's working on it right now. He's a mad scientist, and in about 4 days or a week he'll come out with a bunch of really cool shit. So
that first page, from the time that Luke okayed the script, to the time we sell that first page was a week.
Yep.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, take this into consideration. I gave you the story 2 days after you gave me the links. So
you wrote the story pretty fast too.
Now I will say this. So pretty embarrassing. We didn't really know each other very well, and so I sent you the story. And the way I had written it, the way it first got into my brain was I was rewriting it the way it was originally. So like, the dialogue was a little clunky and all that stuff. It was like old feeling. And I gave it to you, and you're like, passed it back to me. You're like, yeah, there's a story here somewhere, but I was like, oh shit, yeah, very embarrassing.
Well, what you gave me was a stream of consciousness. It wasn't really a story. So
I'm like, well, obviously this isn't going to work. So then
that sounds like classic Bunny. You just got to be that curmudgeon, don't you? You just got to ruin someone else's fun.
That was the whole point, was to bounce it off. And then when I seen somebody else, it's kind of like when you say something out loud that you have been running in your mind, and you see it plain as day, you're like, oh shit, that's retarded. So that's kind of what I saw in this. So I took it back and I said, that's a stupid style. I do that. And instead of trying to write it in that old 40s, 50s style, I just wrote it, And it came out really good. I'm excited.
Yeah. The second one I saw, I was like, okay. I'm starting to see what you were going for here. But yeah, I think that I was seeing the first draft, and note to anybody who writes: never show your first draft to anybody. That's just you like vomiting out of your head.
Anime takes that bullet for me.
Walking around.
Shout out to Anime for taking the bullet for Jared.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go. All right, damn fast turnout. Yeah, it was pretty fast.
Yeah, Jose's crazy.
Yeah, so let me Jose is really fast.
I'm so excited to read all the stories that we have in here. I'm going to keep a copy for myself forever and try and track you guys down to sign it.
That's cool. That's a unique challenge. I like that.
Yeah. So let me make sure. We talked about the clock. We talked about Bronze Terror, Korak, the Puritan, and hold on a second. You're all welcome. Thank you, Anime. There you go. Thank you, man. All right. Anyway, so okay, I guess that leaves me. So let me show you. Hold on 1 second. Nick Tockert says, "The best of my knowledge."
Hey, what's up, Nick?
See when it pops up. Hey, man. That's my knowledge. Paul Bunyan Kaiju Hunter is entirely on hold and off until I withdraw from my original concept. Okay. All right. Well, I wasn't aware of that, man, when I put it up earlier. Started something I wrote through during the time my hands were in recovery during my occupational therapy. Still may occur. Just a different scenario. Okay. Awesome. Well, he said Luke's already.
I would love to steal. I won't.
Yeah,
but I would love to steal that sounds so fun.
We all want that. We all want that idea, Nick. So don't let the grass grow, man.
Yeah, don't sleep
anyway.
Yeah, for sure. So you got a year, and then I'm gonna make it. Damn it.
Yeah, there you go. So there's Out of Obscurity. Luke's already said he loves the idea so much that he's going to do more of these. So as soon as this one fulfills, we're probably going to.
Super cool.
We're probably going to do another one.
They don't have another anthology like series, do they? This would be a great anthology.
The only one I can think of.
Yeah, we have the Revolt series.
Two-Fisted Manly Tales is the closest we've got to another anthology. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not.
But
but no, Revolt.
No, it's not. Not Arrow.
The Revolt
That's
series,
not Arrow. No.
And I've got the larger copy over there. But yeah, that's matter of fact associated with my campaign. We've got Revolt 1 and Revolt 2. Up for grabs. So it's
Well, cool.
Anyway.
Well, I actually got a reprint of mine. Now, the first thing people are going to say is Ghost Rider. Well, that's not in public domain. Well, let me share.
This is based on Nicolas Cage, and he's always in public domain. I'm kidding.
No, not exactly. All right. Well,
he's hungry, and I'm going to let him out.
This kind of shows it a little bit. Right? But so basically, what happened is this: a they were looking for content for a Western kind of style magazine. Okay. And at that time, the Comics Code was not allowing anybody to do supernatural stuff. They kind of wanted to kill EC Comics, and so that's how they killed EC Comics. Was they disallowed supernatural because it was leading to Satan worship or whatever. And so, yeah, obviously. Anyway, so when they had this character called the Calico Kid as a as a guy by the name of Rex Fury. And he wasn't selling that well. And it was in the Ted something other. I can't remember off the top of my head. But see if it's written here. Tim Holt comic magazine. Tim Holt was like a silent film star, and then became a Western star, early in Hollywood. And so he had like his own stories told in comic book form. Well, one of his writers says, I have a great idea for a supernatural cowboy, basically. Or at least he's like portraying himself as supernatural, but it's kind of like a Scooby-Doo thing, right? But it was reverse Scooby-Doo. It's if the guy that gets unmasked was actually the hero, okay? And so the whole entire idea was to have a ghostly cowboy, okay? And they had this weird they got around to supernatural by he was basically the Calico Kid almost drowned and had a near-death experience, and while he was in that near-death experience, all these heroes like Wild Bill Hickok, Pat Garrett, Phil Tillman, Kit Carson, and Calamity Jane trained him to be a hero, and so he like took on the title of Ghost Rider, and he had a now he had like an assistant named Sing Sing, who was a Chinese American who ran a laundry. Yeah, it's just this is back in that era, yeah. But that was like his friend, and his friend that came up with the technology. He was like his Q, right? And there's like all sorts of like things that he learned from kabuki theater in China and things like that.
Yeah, it's important to have a high IQ Asian around. It's good.
Yeah, you have to have you have to have an IQ Asian. You just have to.
Yeah, you have to. That's why I have kids around all the time.
Right, there you go. There you go. Definitely sign me up for next volume. If you do, I can dust off Skull Island. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. We love to see it. Aaron's a hell of a writer. Man, he's a hell of a writer. So what happened was basically this book came out, and it became more popular than Tim Holt comic, and it basically took over that slot. And it became the most popular comic in America at the time. And he went up against people like the Frankenstein monster, creature from the Black Lagoon, kind of things like that. And but everybody he went up against was like Scooby-Doo. There was like people portraying these things that way they could get around. And, nothing was actually supernatural.
Okay.
But he used them. But he used a lot of tricks to portray himself as supernatural. He used I think a phosphorescence paint on the horse and on his uniform,
like magician kind of sleight of hand tricks.
Yeah, exactly. He used the black. Yeah, he used the black lariat, which in the night you wouldn't be able to see him pull things to him. It would look like it was invisible or whatever.
Yeah,
and inside of his cloak was actually black, so he could like look like he's floating in the air when he came at you. And so, it was kind of like it's a really interesting concept, and eventually it ran. It kind of ran its. Interestingly enough, there was a young man who was starting his career, who did his first covers. For Ghost Rider, his name was Frazetta.
Huh.
That guy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice name drop. Yeah.
Yeah, brand new. He was brand new to the industry. He was still a teenager, and he was doing Ghost Rider covers. They're still available today, astronomically expensive. But it ran its course. But it basically it was still popular, but the company that was putting them out went defunct, and the guy who basically was the writer on that created it went over to Marvel, and he was over at Marvel, and he's like, hey, there's this property. And so Marvel acquired just the concept of it. They didn't acquire Rex Fury. They called him somebody else.
Carter Slade.
Carter Slade, right.
Yeah,
Carter
that's
Slade.
right. Yeah.
And so they had this other like supernatural motorcycle rider that they called the Spirit Biker or something like that. And so they're like they combined those two. They took the name, but then they separated off the Western aspect of it, and he became somebody entirely different. He wasn't a Ghost Rider anymore. He's a Phantom Rider. And then they took the name Ghost Rider and applied it to the biker. With the demonic aspect, which is basically they were doing supernatural again, and so they took it supernatural.
Johnny Blaze.
Johnny Blaze, right. But so this Rex Fury Ghost Rider, the original, is in public domain, and so, but Luke is a little like worried about it, so we called the name of it Ghost Story, the last ride of Rex Blaze. And let me show you some stuff right quick. I thought I had it shared. I didn't. Hold on 1 second, guys. I got it pulled up. Where you at? Where are you at? That's not it. Let's see.
Be careful. Don't show your search history.
Why is that not showing?
Yeah.
All right. Share. There we go. I found it. You guys are awful. All right. Let me see.
I'm delightful. What are you talking about?
Well, come on. Show it up. Anyway, so this right here, this is like thumbnails the original guy did, my original artist, and this is basically he's coming out of the night. He's discovering that his headquarters has been pillaged, and his best friend is dead, and so he buries his best friend. He pauses for a moment, but there's a note telling him where the bad guys are going to be, and so he rides into the night and shows up at the town, and he's got all the townspeople held hostage, and so that's. I'll show a little bit of this one here. Hold on a second. All right. So he's holding everybody hostage, and he's basically running through all of the tricks that he used to become Ghost Rider. Okay, he's like revealing all of his tricks and saying, and then there at the end, he decides to make an example of him. So he can't do anything while the people are still being held hostage. And so that's basically all I'm going to show. Anyway.
Playing it close to the vest. I respect
Actually,
that.
I was going to show. I was going to show a little bit more. Hold on. I closed that. I closed that sooner than I thought I was going. I needed to. Second. All right. Let me bring it. And all right. Who's going to show Bunny he's showing too much? Yeah, I was like, well, I stopped myself. I'm not trying not to be hypocritical here. All right. Anyway, all right. Let me show this right quick. All right, so my original artist, he did some really cool stuff. He disappeared on me. He disappeared off of social media and everything. So it just wasn't my project that he disappeared from.
Who was that?
But he did this this concept right here.
We want names.
I'm really sorry that I'm really sorry that he couldn't continue. He actually did a little coloring on it.
Nice.
That was we were thinking doing for the whole book. But I actually went through 2 colorists before I got to this is his original pencils. And that's why I waited to over 6 months waiting for him to do
Understandable.
more. Yeah. Understandable when you see it, right?
Yeah, I get it.
But I got the guy from the clock. The guy who was doing the clock.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
then I had Mika from Barbusco Studios did the coloring. So this is that page that's just showing like the thumb.
Yeah.
And this is when he discovers Sing Sing, and this is the last page I'll show. But
nice.
This is this is Black Bartholomew, his name, and he's like showing all these townspeople, this is your hero, and he's showing them all the stuff, that he's used to fake being supernatural all this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the twist is like on the next page, so I'm not going to show you the twist.
Yeah,
but let's just say, do you believe in ghost stories?
Who was your original artist that disappeared?
He kind of had a really hard. He didn't really have like a conceptual name. It was like a TNG or something like that, in a series of numbers or something like that. He's like
I asked because I recently
animation.
talked to Ben, Fusebox, about Outlaw Nights, and he had the exact same thing where he had an artist who just up and vanished, and that's right? Crazy to me that somebody would just be halfway into a project and just disappear like that.
Yep.
Well, I had a contract with this guy and everything. He insisted on having a contract, and so I had a contract with him, and it was just like I got 3 pages of work, and the 3rd page he showed me like thumbnails of it, and I was like, well, I want to get started. So I got a colorist, and I was going to get started on the project, and the colorist is just sitting there, right? And and I was like, okay, dude. I was like, I can't see this. I was like, I got scans of the first 2 pages. I can start on that, but can I see this 3rd page? I need a scan of it. Yeah. And
waiting on you. Yeah.
And he disappeared. He completely disappeared. He hasn't posted anything on Twitter since December. I checked on it, but then my colorist, he started dragging his feet, and I found out later that people had problems with this guy. And he was like, I'll have something to you this weekend. And then I see on his Twitter that he's lifting weights in a competition. And it's like, I was like, excuse me, I was like, if you're like telling somebody that you can't get to their work, maybe
his
not.
Pencils are very heavy. Okay.
Yeah, maybe not post your hobby on Twitter. I'm just saying. And so Mika from Barbusco has done all my coloring pretty much almost exclusively, and she's just a genius. Saying, so
that's kind of like, I'm not trying to like call people out and all that other stuff, but at the same time, it's good to know because in this work, as this contract kind of work, your reputation, this is an honor-based kind of deal. Like, obviously your work is what it is, but at the same time, like, nobody's going to want to do business with you.
Well, I think in this community, artists get away with too much. They really do.
They really do.
Because I mean, I think it's because this community basically is art fetishist community. Okay,
Yeah.
You can write as well as you want, but you know, the
art.
guy beside of you with a poorly written book, if his art is awesome, that's going to sell through the roof. You know, because this is art fetishist community. It really is.
Yeah.
But that means artists can get away with murder, and then the writer gets left holding the bag. You know, Shinobi Sasquatch. Okay. Anyway,
just to name one. Just to name one project.
Well, yeah, just the name.
Okay,
one,
before
right?
we get all super negative, though, I like what Rosalind says there. She says these artists are giving us a bad name. Communication is important at the very least. Yes.
Yeah.
Just talk. Just let me know what's going
on.
I
certainly. I certainly are cool. I'm cool with. You know, I can bend over backwards. You know, and I mean, my main image is from a guy. Well, I mean, I got you.
Yeah,
but my main image, that guy took about almost, I think it was almost 9 months before he sent me to work. But he was a kind of a cheesecake artist, and I was actually asking him to do beefcake, which is kind of like having a car run on kerosene.
Yeah,
or
we get it, T-Buns. We get it.
Anyway. But it is what it is. It is what it is.
I think it's great. Yeah.
All right.
I like what Odin says right there. Not that one.
Okay.
They're at the bottom. Right. He says, I believe in ghosts. Your artist ghosted you.
Yeah. I believe in ghosts too. Yeah. This artist gives a bad name. Yeah. Communication.
I've been ghosted
important.
by an artist, but it was
numbers.
like a personal thing, not a professional thing.
Yeah.
So it didn't steal that much from me. It was irritating,
right.
but.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, I hear you.
I will say, just, and again, I'm not trying to get too negative, but I do want to just, as a note of caution for folks out there, especially when it comes to colorists.
Yeah.
You need to stand your ground and say, look, don't phone this in. I want it done right. Don't just hand me what what just kind of like, oh yeah, you're my side piece, so let me do this little thing so while I do these other commissions. Because I mean that ultimately I think that's the other thing is like that a lot of these artists, they make most of their money on single covers and commissions and everything else, and they don't want to do the hard work of actually like coloring a daggone book or drawing a book and this and that, the interiors. So So if you find an artist, freaking do everything you can to keep them, especially if they're good. Just freaking rock that shit.
I completely agree. That's why I have done a lot of. Actually, me and Jose have probably done, I don't know, 4 or 5 books together now.
Hold on to Jose.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hold on to Jose.
We have a working relationship.
Jose is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And he's professional. He's great to work with. He listens to me. All that good stuff. And he's fast. So. Yeah, and I like his work.
One thing about some of these guys, one thing about some of these guys, that it's an artist that I've worked with that I have a commission with is Stefani Rene, and he had like a lung cancer that he dealt with for a while, and so he got way behind on his work, and so I mean, there's people that are like, okay, I'm going to refund your book and everything, and I was like, I kind of gave him the money because he needed it, and I was like, if I get the work, I get the work. It'll be a bonus, But I did it basically because he needed help. So, but then he brings back one of the pieces is he sent me the other day. It's just jaw dropping, and it was the one that I posted with the two dead eyes, and so I mean. I know that artists do get in troubles, but the thing about it is though is communication is key, right? And and we're all primarily writers here. The Out of Obscurity was basically a writer project.
Yeah,
and so it was like okay, this will get our feet wet. This will teach us how to write a panel, work with artists, get it out there, get to and
work with deadlines,
and get something. Yeah. It's a good training ground. I've learned a lot through it.
Well, I would say this whether Roz was here or not, but she's one of the most consistent, best people that I've ever worked with when it comes to art. And I would encourage anyone who needs a good artist to reach out to her, because she is extremely professional. She's extremely fast, and she has fantastic communication. So she's like an example of what artists should strive to be, in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I'd say Odin did a piece for me, and he followed through and said it through. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of artists don't appreciate, the people that do this stuff, because it does give artists a bad name. You know, getting a reasonably priced artist are worth their weight in gold. Yeah. Oh my God, I felt that. The interior is the most important part. You can't half-ass it. No, you can't. But the guy, the new artist on the project is Marcelo. I didn't get his name, but I mean he worked also on the clock, so he's going to be on the project. His name's going to be all over it.
Cool.
So he was fast. He caught up with
Aaron.
What's that?
Aaron was. I think he tried to say something. He was muted.
Yeah, no, I was just saying reputation. Yeah, my cat started meowing, so I was like, oh, I better mute, and then I forgot. Thank you.
No problem. Got your back.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like artist reputation, like
Yes.
it matters. It matters in this business.
100%.
The little I know of it.
Well, I mean, I try these days. I try not to rant too much. I'm trying to be better about that. I try to keep that in the Breaking the Bunny, show on Mondays.
Hey, I told you from the beginning, do it, dude. Get it out. You're fine.
Right.
I'll hold my peace. I'll just say that I have no problem with anything that you've said or done. So,
okay, all right. Well, I mean, when you see a project like Shinobi Sasquatch, and Cal sent the money to the guy, and he's doing everybody's project, but Shinobi Sasquatch, to the point where, Cal, is getting all the damage, right? His reputation's ruined because of this. And this guy's doing covers for everybody. Okay. You see that in the community, and it tells other artists that they don't have to follow through, that they don't have to fulfill a contract, that they can do whatever the hell they want to if they're significantly talented enough. Okay. And I don't agree with that, because one of the major guys in CG had him draw a book when he knew this guy was late on Shinobi Sasquatch. He poached him. Okay. And what's that telling everybody else? All right. And it's somebody major in CG. I mean, right up there at the top that poached this guy off of Shinobi Sasquatch and let him walk off that project. And now Cal is trying to get his project back online by paying another artist when this guy already was paid. But he won't do the work. So Cal's having to get somebody else. And he's doing this out of his own pocket. He didn't have he sent the guy money, right? He didn't have the money for anybody else.
Well, all right. So first of all, did he send all of it up front? And second of all,
he made that mistake. He sent it all up front. He made that mistake. But that's what was required of him to work with this guy, right? And then the guy's like, "Oh, I'm not feeling it," I got other things.
I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but there is this little thing called a chargeback. I mean, you have rights as when you're using these digital banks and this and that. They don't have to be the gatekeepers to prevent people from being able to produce comic books. You can also use them to get your money back whenever you have, especially if you have contracts involved. Yeah, get your stuff back.
Low Eastland.
Yeah.
So,
no problem. All right, let me get a few of these comments. I think we did a good job. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about with Out of Obscurity?
I'm good.
All right. As
Actually,
far as
I have a question. Is each like number 2, is that going to be all brand new writers and artists, or I guess writers again, or Can can we all?
I don't know. I think there's some people that didn't make it onto this one that Luke's gonna give like priority to see if they kind of give him a chance.
Yeah.
But I think he knows that we're all ready to go if he needs something. So
yeah, I mean, I would love to participate in another anthology. In fact, I have an Immortal Rising story. It's going to be, I think it's 8 pages. It's going to be in Anvil Magazine #2.
Yeah,
so, just I'm totally into just writing. And if anybody is looking, I guess I have to wait for my stuff to actually come out and people will be like, oh, I like his writing or not. So, I'm totally down with working with somebody, in any way, writing, or if you're an artist and you're looking for a writer, I'm down.
Hold on, let me get this comment in. You never get the Thomas Morio book though. I think he's pretty close. He's pretty close to the end of that one, so we might see it. I think he's getting caught up on all of the backlog he's got though. All right, Rosalind. Likewise, though, it's magic when writers and artists can create something awesome. So thank you all for making cool stuff because we all need this. Yes, we do. We do. And I can guarantee, just knowing these men right here, that there is no agenda being pushed. Nothing but story. Story is king. The characters that are in it are going to be the characters that are being focused on in the story. There's no bait and switch.
Yeah.
Okay. The only agenda I have is agent action always. That's it. That's my agenda.
Right.
Agent action always.
Good agenda.
Yeah. I don't focus on identity and I don't focus on sexuality. So that'll relieve you right there.
I can feel getting money from you. I'm still not doing the work. Moody artist. Right. Yeah. True. This does suck to hear these stories. Yeah, it sucks, but it happens. Love independent creators. And hold on a second. Jason Black, good show. Didn't want to derail, but you see that story breaking I was telling you about, the rabbit hole one for the other show. Okay. All right. No, I didn't see that. Send it to me in DMs, man. I'd love to hear about it. Anyway, that's Ben Cooper from Telepathic Bunny Comics. I'm here with Mr. Justin Sweet. He has a YouTube channel that he's working on. Please
come and visit me sometime.
Yeah, we should hang out.
Where everyone in my right.
Right.
Sometime where the only guest I have is the chat.
We got to hang out. I want to hang out on your show for sure.
Yeah. We need to cross-pollinate.
I'll explain that to you. I'll explain that to you off air, buddy.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
All right. Jared Brickley, he's got Frost Comics, and he's brand new. He's I think he just passed 20, didn't you? 20
about 20 subscribers. But I do have a kick-ass video coming very, very soon, and I hope everyone will check it out once it goes live. It's going to talk about storytelling and 2 characters.
Wait, how long have you been at it? How long?
A week on YouTube.
Yeah. Are you serious? And you already have 20?
There you go.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Yeah. Serious.
He's doing good. And Immortal Rising Comics right here. He's got a Infotel is his Chris.
Oh yeah, Infinitel Comics, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Infinitel Comics
every
is
Thursday. So now instead of Fridays, I'm doing Nerds Day Thursday or whatever, Thursday Nerds Day.
I like the name. That's cool.
I do about an hour. I try to have at least one, if not 2, or even 3 additional guests on top of my co-host. So and we'll talk like the first half. We talk about just kind of pop culture stuff, mostly just to make fun of it. Like I don't really sit there and grind my gears or nothing, but we just talk about it and laugh mostly. And then like the second half of the back end of the show is we're talking about projects and stuff, and it's fun. It's a good time. Come check us out and sub me. Yeah. I'm so close. Get me to 300.
Yeah. And so sub to all these guys. And if you like my content, sub here at the rabbit hole. We can always use some more subs. especially since I keep taking people off and losing them. Anyway,
that's all right. You got to burn the dead wood. You're fine.
You got to burn it. Right. Anyway. All right. So that's all we got for today. Odin says if you got Chris Fisk,
right?
What's that? What's that?
That's one of the reasons that Chris became my wingman, other than like we became fast friends, is he laughs at all my jokes. It's terrific.
Oh, that's what you need for a wingman. Absolutely.
And he's better with the technology. So like my computer's real slow and shitty.
There you go.
And he can always
wait. Is he your Sing Sing?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a sing.
That's a great tie-in. Oh, that's a great.
Oh, the full circle, baby. That's right. Full circle.
Oh wow!
Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't end up dead in the circle. That's what Bunny did to him, right?
We were just talking about dead wood, so I don't know. Now I'm worried. I don't know.
There you go.
You're right.
There you go. All right, I'm going to send us out with the Thelma and Louise Fun My Comic, and then I'll put the outro on the end of it. Anyway, so enjoy that. Y'all have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining, everyone.
Bye.
Okay, then listen. Let's not get caught. What are you talking about? Let's keep going. What do you mean? Go. You sure? Yeah. Get it. Hey!
Sorry about that.